Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is actor Dan Payne. You can just call me King Beast, King Shark, King of having a good time. And I have the extreme privilege of hanging with Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio.
Val, will you be my queen?
No!
The people are in a panic about Hades. Every time we open the barrier, we're exposed to danger. We can't risk having another villain escape.
Maleficent's scepter and the Queen's crown have been stolen.
The sleeping spell spreads throughout Oridon. We're trying to discover which villain has perpetrated this evil.
The only thing more powerful than the curse of the scepter is Hades' ember. I'm supposed to protect Oridon. I felt all of my power slipping away. Unless I get that ember, it's game over.
You shouldn't have come here.
People's lives are in danger!
This is a job for pirates.
I need that to break a spell. No! I had no choice!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy on another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Today is a wonderful day. We have an amazing guest. He is on amazing movies, and now he's on Descendants. We have the cool Dan Payne on Comic-Con Radio. Dan, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing? Thanks for having me, bro.
Pretty good, thank you. So today is a great day. It's sunny, weather's nice, and you're on Comic-Con Radio. So, Dan, I heard you are originally from Canada.
Yeah, I am, man. I was born in Victoria up here in Canada. I live in Vancouver now, but I was nomadic growing up. We moved all over the place. I moved 17 times before I was 16 years old.
I heard you moved a lot, and that influenced you really well into learning different cultures and languages and stuff like that.
It definitely gave me a traveler spirit. You know, I went and played pro volleyball in Europe, and I got to travel all over Europe. I joined my brother in Australia and worked with him there, and it kind of felt comfortable because we got used to just moving and experiencing new places. And it made my brother and sister and I best friends, maybe by proxy, but it was a good thing, man. It worked out well.
So why did you move so much when you were under 16?
I think the core of the matter was my dad's a workaholic. And in his industry, every time he got promoted, it meant a new town, a new mine. He was in the coal mining industry, and he was an awesome guy. He wanted to do better for us all the time. So every time he got promoted, we were moving, and he got promoted a lot.
So that took the travels everywhere. But everything happens for a reason. And maybe if you didn't move a lot, you wouldn't have been where you're at today. You went from a volleyball professional, and I see volleyball. I used to watch it on TV. And people think it's easy, and volleyball is very hard. Those balls are getting thrown at you really fast, really hard, and for you to become a professional and then go into something else, and now you're acting and you're in movies, it's a pretty cool thing that shows that you have this mindset of always growth. So your dad was a great influence. Being a pro volleyball player, how was that?
It was a heck of an experience as well. And I think as I was growing up, my parents were extremely supportive. Anything I chose to do, they just, the only thing they actually wanted me to do was commit to finishing whatever I started. And I think that was a great mentality. It helped me understand professionalism and a work ethic. And I would say it's the dominant reason I made it as far as I did. Again, I'm 6'4", and the doors for athletics kept opening up for me a little bit easier than anything else, which was great. But you still have to walk through that door and do what it takes. And yeah, the work ethic and the professionalism came from my parents. And I think the moving became, you become a little bit more self-reliant. And you have to learn to adapt and get through different situations. And all those things come into play with both becoming a professional athlete and becoming an actor. I think there's no real hard written path to getting to either of those. But if you're able to adapt and push and get up one more time, then you get knocked down, you'll get there. And again, I got to thank my mom and dad for that.
Well, that's a pretty cool thing you just said. Your parents help you push hard. As long as you finish what you have to do, it's all good.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to make it, as far as I did in volleyball. And I owe a lot of that to my family. My brother and sister are just wonderful support team for me. My parents taught me to be committed to whatever I start to make sure I finish. And my dad, again, with work ethic and the professionalism that he lived by, it helped me accrue a skill set to apply to getting to whatever I wanted to achieve. And we moved a lot, like I was saying, so I think it taught me to be resourceful and adapt. In the world of volleyball or whatever you want to achieve greatness, and I think you're going to have to learn to adapt. You're going to have to be resourceful because challenges and obstacles are always going to show up, and it's how you approach and attack those things that will determine how far or how successful you are. So I've been very fortunate. I'm very grateful, and I've battled to get where I'm at.
Well, here's the thing. You said earlier that, because you're 6'4", sports came easier to you. I know a lot of tall people. I'm tall myself. I'm 6'2". My brother's 6'4". He's not an athlete. He's a photographer. So the thing is that
he gets good angles, though.
Yeah,
he gets good angles from
he gets good angles, but you still have to have something in you to be a pro athlete. And especially, I was saying before about volleyball, it's not an easy sport. It's not your local gym game or something you do on the park on Sundays with your family when you're doing a barbecue. It's a very serious sport. Hard hitting.
Yeah.
You're like in your own mind, you could freak yourself out. I knew a lot of pro volleyball players back in the day, and the things they told me about it is amazing. So I got to give that up to you. So not every tall person has that advantage, but that's good that you had that. And you went from a pro athlete to a pro actor. And how did that transition work? Why did you do that?
If I'm going to be brutally honest, I think I love the attention. I really love being forced or put under pressure to perform. There's an internal motivation. All the intrinsic values of being the best version of me that I could be for whatever it was I was doing always existed. But there's a euphoric relationship between a performer and an audience. And I was addicted to that feeling, that accomplishment of doing something to the best of my ability and having it be responded to in a positive way, or even maybe not the most positive way, that pushes you and helps you find internally what you need to do to get to that next level. So volleyball was the first effort, and thanks for saying volleyball is a good sport, man. I think when you watch it at the elite levels, the ball's traveling over 100 miles an hour. It's a specifically finesse skill set, but there's a lot of power involved too. It's a great, great sport. And the translation anyway for me to acting was the same idea that I have to just push myself, that no matter what comes my way, I'm going to find a way to adapt, be resourceful, and get through and achieve. And I don't mean to keep going back to the same thing, but with the support that I had around me, I felt confident and comfortable enough to take risks, fall on my face, learn, and then get back and get up and go get it. And go back at it,
But you started with comedy, I heard.
Yeah, I have to give credit where credit's due. That's my brother. My brother is one of the funniest human beings on the planet. His name's Josh. He's the writer, and I was the performer. He would do the content, and I would do the performance. I'd have my say. There's definitely a stylized aspect to comedy, and I got to apply my own style. But the comedic core came from my brother. And we started writing shows, like little sketch shows. They were audience participation based, and we just would have a lot of fun. So there's a lot of ad lib and improv, and there's nothing better than laughter, whether it be I get to laugh because somebody's making me laugh, or you get the chance to make somebody laugh. It's just pure, amazing medicine in my mind. Yeah, it was a great start, but again, I owe credit to my brother. And my sister, man. My sister's hilarious too.
So your entire family has artistic contributions to this world. Your sister, your brother writes, got you into comedy.
Yeah, my mom was a musician.
Nice.
Yeah, my mom could sing and play guitar. My dad was really like the stoic rock, the workaholic professional, and he did the work ethic thing and the professionalism, and then the creativity came after that. It was a unique blend. It was a really nice. I think that this industry, like, there's no hard lines. There's no you achieve this, you get a promotion, you move forward. You take this test, you pass, you get this bonus. There's nothing that concrete in acting, and I think that work ethic and the professionalism helped apply that industry. And so that's the beautiful blend I think the family brought for me, and the support. Just plain outright support was phenomenal.
Well, you know what? That's great that you landed in acting, because you've done some really cool roles. I know people have seen you in Descendants, which is an amazing brand right there. Disney, Descendants 1, 2, and 3. It's really fun. It's great. But you were also on The Flash this last year. You were on Once Upon a Time. You were on Legends of Tomorrow. Played some cool roles.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, well, first, what an honor to be a part of such an amazing product. Kenny Ortega at the helm with just unbelievable abilities to bring out performance, whether it be acting or musically or dance performance-wise. He's a genius. And then you add these kids who have triple threat talent for days. It was such an amazing experience. I got caught watching. I was just praying the camera wasn't pointed at me when I was jaw-dropped, eyes wide open, watching these kids do their thing. Just such a phenomenal messages underneath all of those movies were I think the core to its and key to its success. I was just really grateful to be a part of it. But The Flash, man, what an honor to play King Shark, classic villain. He's appeared in over 70 times in the comic books. Apparently, he's going to be showing up in Suicide Squad 2. James Gunn, Suicide Squad 2. So that'll be interesting to see his incarnation in that film on the silver screen.
Yeah, but
I was honored to play him on The Flash.
You're a good guy, though, in Flash. King Shark, for people that don't know of that world, you can't control your mind. You became this shark, got changed back to a human, and you changed yourself back into the crazy shark because you wanted to save everyone. And that was pretty cool. I liked that a lot. That was really cool episodes. I love the graphics on those episodes. We're huge comic fans here at Comic-Con Radio. That's what we eat and breathe.
No doubt. Thank you so much, man.
Well, you know
Thank you. Yeah, well, it was an honor to play Shane Lambden because there was a human integrity to him, and it was fun to play the softer side of the big crushing hulk of King Shark and show that there was a remorseful human inside. When he lost control, he regretted all that had happened and wanted to make it right. And yeah, it was nice to have the heroic moment to go back to the dark side to save humanity, I guess. Yeah, it was It was fun. There was a lot of layers. A lot more layers than you maybe could hope for. So I was really great. And a love story. There's a bit of love story in there, too.
Oh, yeah, of course. Cool. There you go. You got to add a love story with that kind of stuff because it just makes you even more cooler. So we're going to get to King Beast now. And you talked about Descendants for a sec. You gave props to all the young kids there because they're very talented. Like you said, they're triple threats and all that stuff. But you played King Beast. How was it playing King Beast?
I didn't even realize at the time when I got cast, I was like, before when I auditioned, I didn't even take into account that this is a classic Disney character and that there might be a whole world behind that I have to honor and address. I just went in there to have fun and do my thing. And then when I booked the role, that's when the whole anxiety crash happened of, wait a minute, this is the King Beast of Disney. Classic characters. So my first day when I met Kenny Ortega, I expressed my concern and, well, let's say panic of the fact that what do I do? How do I honor this whole classic world? And they said, well, listen, we're going to do our best to honor that character, but this is our beast for our Descendants world, and we're going to shape this beast for this world. And I had a lot of support from Kenny and the production to do exactly that. But to be able to play an iconic character by name, even, just amazing. I didn't get to sing or dance. I think that might have sort of helped the movie because they wanted to sell it, so me singing would not be good. But Kenny Ortega could actually, and the choreographers he had, they could get us moving. They got this old frame shaking and a dancing, and I had a lot of fun. We got to rehearse for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I think, each time, and just get to do things that normally don't get to happen in my world, choreographed dance moves. I can freestyle with the best of them. I'm just kidding, I can't. It's awful.
And for the next decade, they're going to be wearing your outfit as a Halloween costume.
I think one of the coolest things about the movie is that it made me cool to my kids for now. And all my buddies would call me like, hey, thanks, man. I've watched Descendants 4,000 times. My kid wants to be you for Halloween. And I'm like, that's amazing. And they're like, yeah, except for the fact that I've watched it 4,000 times.
Well, how can you not watch it? The second a Descendants movie comes on, it's like on every app, every channel, everywhere. Everybody's promoting it. All those apps that people download to watch TV shows and movies. It's like Disney puts it everywhere. Now, because of the movie, did you get to go to D23? Did you go out there and see how the fan reactions were?
I haven't yet. And again, the music is so catchy. I think that it's got to be everywhere because even I catch myself humming along and I'm like, wow, wait a minute, what? So they've done really well. Disney really knew how to put that together for all audiences. Even parents, when you watch it, you're like, oh, that's a good message. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's fun. And that song's catchy. It's great. I think the whole thing just speaks to a bunch of different age groups, a bunch of different ways, which is amazing. For me, the most amazing experience is just the recognition to be a part of something so cool. My Instagram blew up, which thank you to all those amazing people who want to drop in and see the weirdness that I put on Instagram. And yeah, just being a part of these kids who are skyrocketing, I shared a little part in their journey is amazing.
The cast is great. Every actor in Descendants 1, 2, and 3, they're good names. These kids were like amazing childhood actors, and now they're in this great movie, and you got to be part of it, and your kids like it, your friends like it. They said they're forced to watch it because of their kids, but it must feel good inside. How do you feel from all that right now? Like, because it's been a long journey. How does it feel inside?
I'm proud and I'm honored. Every job gives you a little bit of something to keep with you. And this job, I've got a great sense of pride of being a part of something that has great messages, eternal, like forever. They're stand up for one another, acceptance. At the core of it, love. And for me to be a part of something that has a good message to get out to everybody is honorable. It's noble. And those kids, they come to the show because of their talent and because of their abilities and whatnot, but they're also great humans. I got to spend, over the course of 6 years, a lot of time with them, and they're really amazing humans. They're ambassadors for what they were doing in that show. And that's why I think they'll have a lot of longevity in this industry, is because they truly are, for lack of a better term, Disney caliber kids. I guess at the core of it, I'm proud. I'm proud and honored.
And you were also in Underworld.
Yeah, I got to dance around in Underworld and Kate Beckinsale around. That was pretty cool.
That is pretty rad. How was that experience?
Very intense. There was only 2 live-action Lycan werewolf in that movie. That was myself and Rich Citrone. And we got battered pretty hard. There was a lot of stunts. I mean, we had to do a lot of movement work to get the creatures the way that the production wanted. And Rich had done them before. He was great. He was an awesome mentor. But yeah, we got to enjoy being on this gigantic set with amazing, like Kate Beckinsale is as sweet as she seems. She's wonderful. And yeah, just running around chewing on people. How can that be wrong?
Well, you were one of 2 people, and that's why I brought that up, because I think it's a pretty cool thing that they just chose 2 of you to play that, but it's also a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And I saw some behind-the-scene clippings, and you guys went through a rough time there. You're being thrown and falling on things. So is any kind of like stunt work in your background?
Honestly, I think there's a massive carryover. Rich Citrone had done the Underworld movies prior, and I think I was very fortunate to come on because, again, there is a size factor. The Lycan had to be big. But I have a performance background as an actor. They saw my IMDb list and went, wait, this old dude can act. And I have full stunt credit, so I can go out there and get bashed as well. And that combination was, it's fairly desirable. That's how I ended up in Cabin in the Woods as well. But we got battered really hard. And I want to give props to stunt guys. I'm one of those fortunate actors who gets to do stunts. And there's a difference between actors who get to do stunts and stuntmen and women, stunt people. They do things that actors wouldn't, couldn't, or shouldn't do. And having been fortunate enough to play in that world, I've cracked a few ribs, broken this, that, had a couple of concussions. And all of that is just fair game. That just happens. And they keep going. I talked about earlier on about getting up one more time and then you get knocked down. And I meant that figuratively. They have to do that literally. They can get battered pretty hard and they got to do one more take. They didn't get the focus right, something. And I've watched them do things that just aren't human, except they are. They're human beings doing these things. There's a supernatural element to stunts that I think addresses that awe factor that stunts gives people. And I'm just grateful, like I said. I don't mean to be so grateful all the time, but I really am. It's just like I love my job. And all the experiences I get are a gift. So that was another gift that I had to experience. Hanging out with Kate Beckinsale, working on a massive project, and bringing Lycan to life with one other guy because they entrusted us, like you said, to bring the live action element of that entire movie to life. So it was cool.
Well, that's pretty good. It shows when you talk and when you talk about things you like, your voice tone changes. And that shows a lot to everyone. Now, let me tell you this. You're a good-looking dude, but then you have some pictures that you can look really tough and you can look very scary, like you could whip somebody's butt. There's 2 sides of you. Is there 2 sides? Can I say that? Can I say that there's like a soft, nice side, but you can get tough when you want and that comes out in your acting?
I'm so happy you said that. I want to think that there's both. The real me is definitely the nicer, happier side. But there has to be a dark streak. That's something that you can tap into to bring certain characters to life. There's a range of who you are and what you can do, and I hope that exists in me. And as I get older, I do wind up playing a little bit more of the darker side, villains and bad guys, which I enjoy. There's nothing more fun for a good person, I think, than playing a bad guy. You get to delve into that world that isn't your norm. I get to do a lot of Hallmark movies, and I get to be the sweet, loving husband or the doting neighbor or the really good guy who helps out. And I love those too. I mean, telling a good story about hope and love is an amazing thing, but also be the dark guy that delve into that world that you wouldn't otherwise get to delve into. That's also a gift. I'll go back to that word. It's a gift.
Well, here's the thing. I've noticed you play King Shark, you play King Beast, and I know you love comedy. But here's the thing. I'm not going there, but I'm going somewhere else. Here's the thing. Method acting, is that something that's in the pathway for you of specific characters and going that route?
I'm a husband and a father. I've got an amazing, wonderful, supportive wife, 2 adorable young humans that I'm responsible for. So method to me would interfere with my life in that way. If I book a role, I can't disappear into it the moment I book it. If that character's dark and uncomfortable human being, I don't want to bring that element home. But in any quiet times or any time I have on my own, I definitely do go there because I want to explore that world as much as I can before it gets on camera. So I guess, and people probably say you can't do part-time method, so I don't know what to call it. But in every moment that I can, I definitely will disappear into that character, whether it be good or bad. It doesn't matter. I want to embody it in every moment that I can to bring it as fully to life as I possibly can when go time happens.
Well, that's pretty cool to hear because that's what I wanted to say. You have a wife and you have children, and you can't be like those people where you go for weeks playing a character and being crazy and coming home and they're like, oh, there's dad again. He's going crazy again. That shows that you have a lot of talent, that you could flip the switch and become this dark side character and then flip it back and become the nice Hallmark guy, because those movies are good too. I like them as well. I watch them. But on another note, and with that said, Marvel or DC?
Whoa, you are throwing it out there, man. You are definitely, oh, wow. Okay, first, I'm going to say thank you for the kind compliments. That's amazing. Now to answer that question, the big question. I've watched a lot. I can see the spot. I'm standing right on it.
You like both?
I watch a ton of Marvel. I do like both, but I watch a ton. I think I watch more Marvel because I have a 10-year-old who's madly in love with Marvel characters more than any else. I think the DC universe is a bit darker, and I think that doesn't quite speak to a 10-year-old as well as the Marvel levity, and Thor and Iron Man, and those guys have that levity and that wink that appeals to kids. And my 10-year-old's pretty on point. He gets it. He can see and pick up on all of that softer side, I guess. Whereas DC, Batman, he's got a dark past and he's trying to figure things out. And but I love both. I mean, this is almost like you're talking about the range about how I get to be the Hallmark guy and then go and be a villain. I love both. There's aspects of both that I'm drawing to. Does that answer the question?
That answers the question. Yeah. Here's the thing. I just want to know where people's mind's at, but in no way do I want this to affect your career. I would love for you to be in DC movies, Marvel movies. Listen, we get a lot of producers and directors and people like that listening to the show, and I don't want any of them thinking that you're choosing sides. You're an actor and you're great at it. I just want to see where Dan's mind's at and, stuff like that.
No, I appreciate it. And my mind is in the superhero element. Who wouldn't want to be a superhero? So DC or Marvel, I'm in terms of as an actor. As a parent, we favor Marvel. As Dan Payne, the actor, like I said, I'm on the fence. I'm in both camps. As long as you're allowed to be, I don't know, because I am literally in both camps. Because I played King Shark on The Flash on TV, he's like, dude, Suicide Squad 2, King Shark's coming. It's got to be you. So we're going to put a bid in somehow. We're going to see if we can't get through to somebody to have a peek and just see. I know that they're doing Steve Agee as the voice, and that's a great choice. He's a comedian, and he's brilliant. So I know that that's the voice, but there's got to be a body, whether it be mocap or whatever physicality, just putting it out there.
That's it. It's you. Okay, whoever's listening right now, and I know you're listening from both camps, Dan Payne has to be the next King Shark in the next movie. That's it. You got to do it. And you know what? Let me tell you something, Dan. I've said things on the show, and I've predicted things, and it has happened. And people have called me back and said, hey, I got this role because we mentioned it on the show. So you never know who's listening, Dan. You never know.
That's awesome. Well, you got to put it in the universe. You got to put it in the universe or it won't come back, right?
That's it. And our universe is fun. The Comic-Con universe is amazing. Everybody's lovely. Very cool universe that we're in. You know what, Dan? You're a great guy. You're funny. I know some of these questions were hard, but you answer them amazing. And what's next for you? What's some projects that you can talk about that's happening?
So I just finished a sequel to a kids movie, Aliens Ate My Homework, called Aliens Stole My Body, which is such a great ride. I play Captain Gracker, who's like a borderline incompetent captain of a spaceship. I get to play in the comedy world, and this character gets all the good lines, and the producers and director were so supportive of a collaborative improv ad-lib environment for me that I got to have a phenomenal experience. Despite the fact that it took 5 hours to get into the makeup every morning and 2 hours to get out every night, it was worth it because the 10 hours of filming in between, and every day on set's a great day. So that was, the great day was the 10 hours of just pure joy and goofing around. So that happened. That I'm looking forward to coming out. They're doing the post on it right now. I'm actually looking to produce. I've been very happy with the career I've got so far. I want to keep going. I have no intention of stopping. I want to just keep climbing and climbing the ladder. But I want to produce so that I can be a part of products that involve friends and people I want to work with and tell stories that I want to tell. I keep telling you, every day on set's a great day, but if I could pick who I'm working with and the story I'm telling and be a part of my own creative future and dictate it to some extent, that is the dream. So I'm producing right now. I'm trying to I've got 2 projects on the go. One's a Viking werewolf origin story, which I think is phenomenal. The writer was brilliant. We're working together. I can't wait for that story to be told. And then the other one's more of a cult thriller. I look forward to that one coming to the light of day as well. So those are my upcoming projects right now. I'm always auditioning. We're in talks about a couple of projects. So iron's in the fire, always looking to move forward. But right now, my focus in the quieter time is to get these projects that I've got under my belt, I guess, produced and started. Greenlit.
Well, we can't wait to have you back on and you talk about all your new things that you've produced. And is directing in the pathway as well?
That's a cool question. Man, you're awesome. You got great compliments. You make me feel really good. And you have great questions. I really appreciate it. So yeah, directing. When I started out, I did not want to direct. It looked like this whole other world with a whole different language, and I was just in awe of it. I'm still in awe of it, but now that I've been doing this for 20 years, I can see the aspects of directing that are appealing and how it shapes a story and what you need to do to harness all the elements around you to tell the story exactly how it needs to be told to have its full life. And I do have a draw to it now. I think I'm a ways away. Acting and being in front of the camera are by far my first love. Writing has been the second strongest element of this industry for me. And now directing is definitely a top 3. So acting first, writing second, and we'll look to directing as the years go on.
That's your triple threat, the Dan 3, what do you want to call the triple zinger for you? Writing, directing, acting. Acting first, writing second, directing third. You're going to be producing, or you are currently producing.
I always sound bored off him. And let's call it 3D, the 3 Dans. 3D, right? Would that work?
Yeah, there
3D,
you go.
3 Dans. Acting, yeah. Stunts used to be way up in there, but now as I get older and the body doesn't bounce as much, it more splats. I'm going to put that one down at 4, just as a little slight reference, because we did talk a lot about stunts. People will be like, oh, where's the stunt thing? Well, it's at 4. I still love it. If I get a call and I think I can do the job fully and give it the full just dues that it requires, then I'll do it. But if I don't feel I can, that's why it's in 4th place. My brother is a never-ending resource of laughs and good times. So anything comedic, I will definitely pass it through his filter of funny.
Well, here's the thing. You have to keep doing stunts because, Suicide Squad's coming up and you have to play King Shark. So,
I said, man,
you got some more in you.
Oh, I've got more in me for that. Are you kidding me? That's why God, we invented Advil for a reason. They call that stunt candy. That's my favorite thing. Do you need any stunt candy? / Advil.
There you go, man. Well, that's amazing to hear. You got some cool things going on. You love your family world. You know how to balance the two. You went from a pro volleyball player to an amazing actor. Now put it all together and make the amazing Dan Payne. And it was really nice chatting with you today on Comic-Con Radio. Is there anything you want to tell the fans before we head out?
I want to say thank you so much to you. You're amazing. Honestly, thank you so much. Of all the interviews I've been through, there's an amazing flow, but the complimentary support, it's amazing. You're brilliant at that part. I love it. Thank you so much, man. Seriously. And to the fans, things don't happen without fans. I am so blown away by the fact that I have fans and that they're as supportive as they are. As an actor, there's not always all highs. There's some lows. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have such a supportive fan base and friend base that on those days I can just maybe peek onto a social media or something and just see somebody say a nice compliment or just send me a nice email or a nice message. They lift you back up. So that support group, the fact that fans are there for you, and they probably don't even know that, truthfully, that they're there to help you through some of the lows. I'm extremely grateful to every single fan and every friend who's been out there helping me get through and get to where I'm at now. So a massive cyber radio hug to all of them and a humongous thank you.
That's really nice of you, man. That's cool. You're absolutely right. The fans are out there, and whether they know it or not, they really help out because sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. You're a human being, and their comments are amazing. And if they want to reach out to you and say something or send you something cool, what's your social media handle? Instagram is my favorite. It's the one that I like the most, and it's at actor Dan Payne. And that's where I can be reached. I know that there's an element of the industry where it's numbers and this and that and social media. I'm a little bit older. I wasn't there at the very forefront of
how that all works. What I am grateful for is just the fact that they're, like we just talked about, they're there for you, thick and thin, highs and lows. And yeah, you said it very well. So thanks, man.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, it's actor Dan Payne. Don't click the other Dan Payne, ladies and gentlemen, because that's not him. Make sure you see his stuff on it. It's actor Dan Payne on Instagram. Send him a message. Say what's up. You're one of the nicest people I've spoken to recently. Not that anybody else wasn't nice, so whoever's listening to this, don't think that, but you're a really cool gentleman. For being the tough guy you are in all these movies, you're a great gentleman. It was nice speaking with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to catch Mr. Dan Payne, you can watch him in Descendants 3, which is already out. You can watch him in Good Witch, Mulligans, Watchmen, Cabin in the Woods, and hopefully in the new Suicide Squad 2 that's coming out. It's not set yet, but it's probably going to happen. And you can reach him on Instagram at actor Dan Payne. And with that said, we are signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Galaxy with the amazing Dan Payne, and we're signing out. Dan, we got to blow kisses. That's a shtick we do. Ready? 3, 2, 1. A billion kisses.
Mwah!
Hey, ladies.
Too big? Too big?
That's a great kiss, but hey, remember he's married. I'm just kidding. Anyways, take his kisses. Use it while you're watching his movies. Give him some support and love. Follow him on social media. And with that said, we're signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comiccon-radio.com. Reach us on social media. Instagram at Comic-Con Radio. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.